pop bottles and water bottles are flying at my head as I'm walking down. That was different. And then I get in the cage, he's just like ready to go. Just ready to go. Have you ever been scared to fight? Have you ever been scared that you were gonna get knocked out? Have you ever been scared that you were gonna lose? That everything that you had been working for your entire career was gonna go down the drain because that guy's gonna stop you. That guy's too big, he's too strong, he's too well conditioned, he's too good. Has your brain ever told you these things? Have you struggled to overcome that? You're not alone. This is something that all of us deal with. Every single fighter that steps in that cage experiences fear. If they don't experience fear, they're probably like that Gord Cummings dude that was schizophrenic in the last video with the boomstick. You haven't seen that video, go back, watch it, it's kind of funny. Everyone experiences fear. There's so much to lose in this game. We work so hard for so long, and it really feels like every single thing is riding on every single fight. And it kinda is. The UFC wants you to be 25 years old, 9-0, with all knockouts. Now that's a whole lot of pressure. And if you're focused on that going into the cage, it's gonna be really, really difficult for you to compete at your best. Now there's a lot of us as well that have experienced some pretty traumatic things in the cage, or maybe even in life on the street in different altercations. I got knocked out back to back. I broke my face like 9 times. I have 7 different plates in it. All of that essentially gave me PTSD. And for a while, I was absolutely horrified of fighting. Not only was I worried about losing my job in the UFC and getting cut and having to make way less money, having to go back to the minor leagues or figure out a different path, quit fighting maybe. Not only was I worried about that, but I was also worried that I was gonna break my face again, that I was gonna have to deal with another savage recovery, or that I was gonna get knocked out again in front of my mom, in front of my friends, in front of the world. And the damage that these knockouts, that these things cause is long term, right? Like CTE is a thing. This is a really, really dangerous sport. I'm not even really sure that it's a sport, honestly. But you can overcome these things. As difficult as it is possible to overcome your fear, but it's not easy. It's easy to say, but it's not easy to do. It's one of those things, right? It's simple, but not easy, as Alex Hermosi would say. Shout out to Alex, you're a beast. The path to overcoming your fear is acceptance. You have to accept whatever horrible thing you're scared of. You have to accept that, the fact that it is possible, and do it anyway. If you fight against it, your mind will focus on nothing but that thing. So a long time ago, I used to fight out of a gym called Prince George Fight Club. We were a town of like 100,000 people, northern BC, kind of in the middle of nowhere. And our gym was very small. It was maybe 10 guys led by Bill the Butcher Mahood. And we were tough. We were tough as nails. We'd work really hard. We weren't that good. We weren't that technically good. We had to learn a lot of information. And so I didn't win a lot back then. Well, I didn't win all my fights, that's for sure. Not even half of them. First year I was like 3-6 or something. 3 wins and 6 losses in my first year, right? So I didn't have a lot of the skills, but I had good cardio. And at that point, nothing terrible had really happened to me fighting. So I would just throw at everyone. I would just throw the kitchen sink at everyone. No matter how good they were, even really good guys. I fought a guy named Josh Thompson on like 4 days notice. I think I was like maybe 6 or 7 months into my training, right? And I fought Josh Thompson. Some of you may know who he is. On 4 days notice, and I didn't win, but boy, I took it to him. I would look like I had no fear. And because nothing had really ever happened to me, I essentially had no fear, or was able to mask it anyways and push it down. At that point, I was using anger to do that. I would work myself up into like a bit of a frenzy, like a Vanderlei Silva frenzy, right? And just attack like savagely and not hold anything back. I was just throwing everything at the guy. And so even though I didn't win that fight, I did way better than anybody expected me to do, especially Josh. He was quite surprised when this little skinny 18-year-old's just flying at him, dreads flying everywhere, and just like throwing up off the bottom of mount, trying to punch him in the face when he's mounting me. And then sometimes in other fights, when I was trying to work myself up like that, it just didn't work. I didn't really believe it. And then I'd be in there and I'd be like second guessing everything, and I'd be hesitating, and I would feel that fear. And eventually I moved out of Prince George and I moved down to Vancouver, BC, much bigger city, much better training. I got with a great gym. I got amazing coaches, Tony Pep, Nick Iguala, Bibiano Fernandez, Paul Lalonde, Coulter Gill, all these like really high level dudes around me, teaching me, showing me the game, and I improved vastly. And I start just bodying everybody, right? Because I'm still like that scrappy kid, but now I've got this technique. But I was still kind of working out of that Ragin' Cajun type feel, right? Like, if you didn't know, back then my name was Ragin' Cajun. So my name is actually pronounced Kajan, for those of you that want to know how to pronounce it. But people called me Ragin' Cajun because I acted crazy before my fights. I would like just whip myself into a frenzy and like act like it was WWE. I'm like hanging over the ropes, pointing at people, making up rap songs in like for the interviews, and it was crazy, right? So I'm ripping through these guys because I've got this new technique and I'm hyper aggressive, and I've actually tasted some pretty dangerous stuff at this point. Like, I had my face broken already, but I was able to come back and still be there and just cover up all the nerves and the fear that I would feel and that hesitation with anger and just go, right? Just chuck. Right? Like, I used to skateboard back in the day, and they used to call me a hucker, right? Like, I was that kid that would just huck himself down a flight of stairs, most of the time not land, but I was down to huck, you know? So I would commit, and I would just go and work myself up and just attack these guys. And because I had technique, it worked. But eventually that stopped. I met somebody else that had really great technique as well, and he didn't care about my antics. When I was raging on these guys, a lot of them would feed back into it, right? So I would like mean mug them, and I'd be trying to like intimidate them, and they would like get their back up and like start trying to do it back, and that would just fuel me, right? So they'd play into my game and I would just rip through them. But eventually I book a fight for the King of the Cage Canadian title against none other than the Red King, Rory McDonald. Back then, he was called the Water Boy, not the Red King. I actually gave him that Red King nickname. Back when he was the Water Boy, he was an 18-year-old skinny kid from Kelowna, training out of Toshido under David Lee. And he was ripping through guys in his early pro career. I want to say he was like 6-0 or 7-0, somewhere around there. I had lost a lot in the early days of my career, but I had like fought out of the hole a bit, and I was on a bit of a tear. So I don't remember exactly what my record was, but I remember I had about 23 fights. My record was probably something that looked like 50-50, like 13 and 10 or something like that. We booked this fight, and I thought that I was gonna do the same thing to him that I did to everyone, right? I thought I was gonna mean mug him, and I even turned it up for him. I'm like, this kid's young. He's not like, I grew up a little bit rough, so I was like, oh, he never grew up rough like me, right? So I'm gonna make this like a street fight. I'm gonna punk this kid. I'm gonna just rip through him. We fly to Moncton, New Brunswick, and we start doing like radio shows and press conferences and things of that nature, and I'm just going off, right? Like I'm going off in this radio show, and I'm like, it's a long flight for a short fight. Like, I'm ripping into the guy. I'm just like, got the catchphrases. I'm like really trying to lean into that like Muhammad Ali meets Vanderlei Silva type vibe. And Rory really didn't care, right? Like, I'm like just talking this trash in this room, and he can hear. He's like right outside the door. I'm just talking so much trash. And then I come out and I'm like, top that. And he's like, I probably won't. Like, he didn't care at all, like zero cares. And that kind of was like, oh, well, that's not usually what people do when I like I poke them, I like flex at them. They usually flex back, and this kid like doesn't really care. But I kind of brushed it off, right? And then it's fight day, and we're like all kind of walking around, like everybody's just milling around the stadium. The fights haven't started yet, and I see the kid, he's on the wall, and I just grill him. I like lock in with him, and I just grill him as I'm walking past. He doesn't even see me. It's like I'm not even there. And that messed with me. I was like, oh, what does he know that I don't know? And I started getting in my head, and the fear started creeping back in, because I like created this like angry like beast persona, right? So that I could hide behind it. So I could hide my true self behind it and not show myself, right? Because I was terrified of actually showing myself, right? So I would hide behind this person, this entity that I had created, and the entity wasn't working, right? So I'm like, oh my God, now what? Things go on and warming up. I'm feeling good, right? And I'm like very concerned about him. Like I was way more concerned about him than I should have been. And I'm like trying to peek in his dressing room and like look at what he's doing, because it was like a sheet. The dressing room was a sheet, right? It's not an actual room, it's a sheet. So like I can see through it. So I'm like watching them warming up, and I shouldn't have done that at all. I shouldn't have even looked. It doesn't matter what they're doing. I'm already here. I should have just like stayed within myself, but that doesn't matter, right? This is what happened. This is where I was. I'm still pretty young. I was like 22, 23 years old. So my music starts playing, and I'm walking out, and before my walkout, right, they played the interview that I did for King of the Cage right before I went out. And my interview was very, very bad. Like not bad in like not bad in an awkward way. Like it was kind of cringy probably, but I had written like a 16-bar rap song about Rory McDonald and how he's looking like a little boy that a priest just fondled, right? Like bad, right? I'm like tearing him up like a battle rapper. Maybe if he was 40 and like rough and rugged, maybe the crowd would have gotten behind me. But here I am, right? This like half black kid in Moncton, New Brunswick in December, and I'm talking all this crazy trash about this little sweet 18-year-old boy, right? Little sweet 18-year-old white kid. And the crowd was definitely not on my side. Now, I had been fighting in Prince George, so I was used to the crowd being on my side with all my antics, because I was from Prince George, and you're a hometown kid, they're gonna get behind you. I wasn't the hometown kid, neither was he, but it was pretty easy for the crowd to get behind him and make me the villain. I made myself the villain. And I wasn't used to that energy, so I'm going out and they're throwing bottles at me. Pop bottles and water bottles are flying at my head as I'm walking down, and that was different. And then I get in the cage, he's just like ready to go. You know, just ready to go, like ready to go. Like, I didn't really know this at the time, but he had been bullied pretty extensively in high school and got really good at fighting, and then got really good at beating up the bullies that bullied him. So he was used to people trying to flex on him, right? And yeah, it wasn't a great strategy. Regardless, I had really good skills. So thank God for that. The fight started. I was able to goad him into trying to take me down, and then take him down from that, and then get on top of him, pass his guard. I got to his back. I almost got a rear naked choke, right? I had a rear naked choke, but I didn't have hooks, and he was able to spin out, and the round was over. I got back to the stool, and all that anger that I was used to fighting with was done. I had dusted the last like 6 people in the first round, and now all the negative thoughts are coming in. The beast that I had been using as a shield is gone. And I'm just there naked in front of everybody, and they can just see how non-confident I am, and I am just like in my head like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this for 3 rounds. I usually finish everybody in the first round. Do I have enough cardio? Oh, I think I shouldn't have done such a hard workout yesterday, because I've got no gas now. I'm tired. I don't know if I can do this. And I wasn't even that tired. Honestly, I wasn't even that tired, but I was just in my head about it. I didn't believe in myself, and so I got more tired because of that. We go back in, right, round 2, he starts putting it on me a little bit more. Now, I had really good skills, so the second round was 50-50, but he was gaining momentum. And then I get back in the corner again, and I'm like done. Like I got another round and I'm like done. Like my brain is just running circles so fast that it's draining all my energy, and I'm thinking about absolutely everything but the fight, but the guy in front of me. I'm thinking like, oh my God, what are my friends thinking back home? And oh, I'm supposed to be the next one to go to the UFC. I'm never gonna make it. Do I really wanna still do this? Why am I doing this to myself? I don't even like being here. Do I really wanna do this for a living? Maybe I should change careers. Like I'm thinking this in the fight, right? In the fight. And it's time for round 3. So I come back in and I'm having a really tough time getting going. I'm obviously tired and I want him out. I want him to go away. Now, the thing that I had the most confidence in as far as my game was my right head kick. So I just keep winging the right head kick at him. And once you throw one right head kick at the person and then you throw the next one, they know it's coming, right? So I kept doing the same thing repetitively because I just wanted it to be over, right? And that was like the quickest path to it being over. And he's like, whoosh, catching it on this side, whoosh, catching it, bang, dumping me. And then I would work back to my feet and kick him again and catch and bang, dump me. And then one time I wasn't able to work back to my feet, right? So he's in my guard, bang, bang. I don't know if you guys have watched Rory McDonald and some of his fights where he actually gets to use ground and pound, but he has very, very, very nasty ground and pound. So he's battering me. And then boom, and he cuts me. Which side is it? This side. Yeah, he cuts me right here. And I'm like, oh man, all the blood's going in my eyes. Like I'm on my back, so it's like just like a bandana almost of blood going across my eyes. I can't see anything. And I'm thinking like, well, just keep fighting. Like that's one thing. Like I never quit in that fight, and that's a great thing. That's something I can stand on, right? But I'm trying to fight him, but he wasn't even there. I was trying to fight him in front of me. I'm on my back, right? I'm on my back and I'm trying to fight him there, but he was over here. He had already passed my guard and was standing over me and just like bang, bang, raining down shots. Thank God the ref came in and stopped the fight, because that's a bad look. If you don't even know where the guy is and he's hitting you, it's a problem. That fight needs to be over, right? So they stopped the fight and I'm cut, I'm bleeding. I was like the favorite to win this fight, and this 18-year-old kid just made me look stupid. And because I put on so many of those airs, I just created this thing that wasn't even me, and I like just projected it, and I was just, man, I was so mean, I was so nasty, I talked so much trash, I looked horrible. And I went to the back room and I just started bawling my eyes out. Just like bawling big crocodile tears, so mortified, embarrassed, like upset, like just every horrible emotion, just hating myself. And I always have that scar to remind me. Every time I look in the mirror, I see these scars, and they're each one has a lesson. And this lesson was what not to do. So I knew that one of the things that really threw me for a loop was being this big angry dude, right? Acting all crazy and angry, because that wasn't actually me. That's not how I walked around in life. That's not how I treated people in life. So if I'm gonna project something, that takes a lot of energy, right? It's not gonna last. Like, go look in every fight and see who's still angry in the 3rd round, in the 5th round, right? If you're angry in round 1, you're definitely not angry when the fight's over. Like, it's too tiring to keep that energy up. So I had to figure out another way. I had to figure out a way where I could like be myself in there. And so I pulled everything back. I went back to training, I kept working, I did a lot of conditioning, but I had to figure out another way mentally to be in there. And what I decided to do was to just make sure that I wasn't angry. I didn't really direct my energy like I want to be like this or I want to be like this. I was just like, I'm just not going to be angry. So my next fight was with Steve Claveau. And this was in XMMA, like way back in the day, like XMMA 5. So I think we're like 2008 or something like this. Now, with everything surrounding the Claveau fight, I was just trying to be super calm, super calm, right? So I'm trying to like meditate beforehand, and the song that I chose to come out to was a little bit sad, and I just kind of walked down. I didn't really dance out like I normally would. And I get into the cage, and the fight starts, right? And my brain is pretty good. It's pretty good, but it's not like I was missing some sort of excitement, right? I was a little bit flat. Without that like angry dude to go out there and like, without that, I was not in that heightened state where you're like ready to go. I was kind of like asleep. And then I'm expecting, there's many lessons in each fight, right? I'm expecting this guy to be a jiu-jitsu guy. And he comes out and he just starts bombing overhand rights and lefts like a madman, because I didn't know Steve Claveau is an actual madman, like crazy Frenchman. And I had thought I was gonna just pick him apart with my boxing, right? Just have to be able to stay calm and just really clean, pick him apart from long range with my boxing. That didn't work. So I had to use a bunch of wrestling, and that sent my brain spiraling again, because I had been kind of training for this situation, training for me to be better at striking, and I'm gonna outbox him, and I'm not gonna have to go to the ground with him. And now all of a sudden I gotta use all this wrestling. And now in my head, like, did I do enough wrestling in camp? Oh, am I gonna be able to go for 3 rounds? I'm like worried about my gas tank. I'm worried about my ability to go the distance. Like, my brain's just spinning. And I had won the first round, right? Like, I double legged him like 2-3 times, right? I was winning the exchanges, but my brain is spinning and it's making me tired, right? And then I go out and I like give the whole second round away. I literally gave the entire second round away. I remember being on the bottom and him just punching me and me just like letting him do it. Like, I was quitting, and that's one of the most horrible feelings that you'll ever feel in the world, is quitting, because you're not showing up for yourself. When a dude is punching you in the face, you're not showing up for yourself. That hurts so much worse than losing. And then after the second round, I get back to the stool and I'm thinking to myself, I literally just let this guy pound the crap out of me for an entire round, and he still wasn't able to finish me. I was barely even defending myself, but he still wasn't able to finish me. And so in the third round, I got it in me again to go out and attack. And I fake a takedown, I throw a flying knee, and it didn't land clean, but it got a piece of him, right? And then I ended up taking him down and taking his back, and I spent the whole round on his back. I wasn't able to finish him with a choke, but I spent the whole round on his back, and the fight is classified a draw. Now, after the fight, I was talking to one of my sponsors, and he's like, you know, you've got really good defense, but you need to work on your offense. And that was really true in a lot of ways. Like, I had gotten so technical, I was having troubles like pulling the trigger offensively. And most of it was just because my brain was elsewhere. My brain was on how good the guy is, or how it's impossible to beat him, or what the people are thinking out there, or I'm thinking about what I had done before that had caused this situation. I'm thinking about the past, I'm thinking about the future. I'm not thinking about what's happening at the moment. So the fight's a draw. I go back home to Vancouver and I start working again. And now I have a conversation with Nicholas Uguala. Nick was my wrestling coach. He taught me a lot of wrestling, and I still use it today. And he was a fantastic wrestling coach. But one thing he was much better at than wrestling is the mental game. What your brain should be doing when you're competing. Because there's a billion thoughts you could think. But if you're thinking those thoughts, you can only think those thoughts. You can't think 2 thoughts at the same time. So if you're thinking about what's happening in the crowd, what your friends are thinking about you getting pounded out, what could possibly be the repercussions for your career in the future, you're not thinking about the move that's available. If you're thinking about the past, if you're thinking about all the work that you've done to get to that place and how it could all be for nothing, you're not thinking about the fight. You're not thinking about the opportunity that's right in front of you. So Nick said something to me that was very simple. Be proactive, not reactive. Don't wait for people. make things happen. Every single moment you must see as an opportunity. Every single thing that happens in the fight, you must see as an opportunity. Say you go out and you want to box this guy, and he shoots a double leg and takes you down and puts you on your back. That is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to work a different part of your game. It's an opportunity to attack his arm. It's an opportunity to attack his neck. You don't worry about the thing that just happened. You don't worry about the takedown. You know why? Because it's in the past. You don't worry about the effect that that's going to have on the round. You know why? Because that's in the future. You know what you worry about? You worry about the positioning of the person's head, shoulders, legs, and what opportunity that brings you. Their arm is up here. Bring your leg over their head, attack the arm bar. Oh no, they got out of the arm bar. Yeah, so change to a triangle. Oh no, they're putting their head over there. Yeah, so change to omoplata. Oh no, they postured up. Yeah, so invert to their leg and attack their leg and rip it off. Every single movement that your opponent makes is an opportunity. And that changed everything for me. That changed how I was able to perform in the cage. That changed my hesitation and flipped it around. And I booked another fight. And this fight was with my first UFC vet. Okay, so I was fighting this guy, Douglas Evans. He trained in Alaska, right? He had just fought Roger Huerta and Mark Bocek. He had gone to the decision with both of these guys. Maybe Huerta finished him. I think Huerta finished him, and Mark Bocek went to a decision with him. He's like a Greco-Roman wrestler. Short guy, scrappy, likes to throw, and like takedown throw, not like punch throw, although the dude could punch too. So I booked this fight in Calgary on a show called Raw Combat. And it had just so happened that my whole team had been on a losing skid. That the whole gym had just been losing and losing and losing, and we were really elite fighters, and we had the best training situation possible, right? And things that like that don't even exist today. And yet we were losing and losing and losing to these guys that weren't in perfect situations like us. We were losing and losing. And then before I went in, Jose Peli Landijong, one of my cornermen for the fight, said, "Revolution," that was the gym. "Revolution needs you." And it just like fired me up. And I was in there, and Nick Iguala was in the corner, and Bill Mahood was in the corner, and I was ready. And my plan was to act. I was gonna go. I was gonna let myself go, and I was gonna take every opportunity. So if I started throwing punches and kicks, and he wasn't able to throw them back, and he was defending, but he was on the defense, I was just gonna keep going. I was gonna keep going until I was stopped. I was gonna keep attacking until he did something to stop me from attacking. And I murdered this guy. It was 2 rounds of fury. First round, I go out and bang, 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 bang. I'm like hitting him with a huge attack. And then he comes back at me and throws 3 head kicks in a row. I've never seen it before in my life. Bang, 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 same leg, triple head kick with the lead leg, right? And I blocked the first 2, but the third one got through. And then I shoot a takedown. Right? I shoot a takedown, I've got him on the fence, he reverses me, and I had one little second. When I started questioning myself. Because it's like, oh no, this is a Greco position, right? We were in like an over-under, like 50-50 clinch. And I'm like, no, where's your opportunity? And right away, boom, turned it around, and then just kept steamrolling him. And go back to the corner, rounds over, come back in, and this guy started to try to put it on me right away. Right away, it came out, and he starts to try to attack to change the momentum. I was very clear that I had built up the momentum in the first round, and he tried to break it and switch it for him in the second. But I slipped one of his low kicks and just attacked him like an absolute savage. Punches, kicks, flying knees. He tries to shoot. I boom, chuck him to the ground, take his back, and choke him out. Every single second I was in that fight, I was on, except for that one break. And once I experienced that little break and then the recommitment, it was like it solidified everything for me. Like I finally got it. Like I finally knew how to fight. It's like I had needed to be somebody else my whole career. right? Which was pretty short, but it was a lot of fights. I had a bunch of fights. It was like 25 fights or something like that at this point. Right? That's a lot of fights. This is actually my 26th fight. And I remember that. I remember that it's my 26th fight because I've said many, many times to people, it took me 26 fights to figure out how to fight. And the key was to think of every single situation as an opportunity and to take every opportunity that is afforded to you. Whatever you see, do it. Whatever you feel, do it. What happens if it doesn't work? Another opportunity. You know the next move. You have to trust that you will make the right decision. And whenever you think it, go. Whenever you feel it, go. And if that's where your focus is, you won't have any time to be thinking about who's watching, what the repercussions are for your career, what negative action just happened. Oh no, I got taken down. Oh no, he hit me in the face. Everything is an opportunity. And that's the key to getting rid of the fear. And don't get me wrong, like fear will always be there. It will always be there, but you have to welcome it. You have to accept it and focus on the opportunities in front of you. Focus on the moment. A lot of the times the lead up messes with people. The actual fight itself doesn't instill the fear. It's the lead up because they make it big and fantastical and epic. So that's will draw the crowd in and get them excited about it and want to watch it. But you gotta be above that because that's for the fans. That's for the crowd. That's not for you. All that exists is you, your opponent, and the cage. That's it. Everything else is for them. When you're walking to the fight, I got this from Fedor. Don't think about the fight. Don't think about the camp. Left foot, right foot. Left foot, right foot. Left foot, right foot. Be in every step. Get to the cage. Oh, I'm greasing myself now. Or they're greasing me. I'm walking up the steps. I'm walking into the cage. I'm not thinking about the fight until the fight happens. And then, when the fight happens, I think of nothing else but the opportunity in front of me. What is there? Where's the opening? What's he giving me? What can I see? What can I take? What can I feel? And as soon as I think it, I do it. I hope this helped you. If you feel fear, if you feel hesitation, know that you are not alone. We all experience this. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you less of a man. It makes you human. And if you use this hack, I believe it will help a lot. Now, if you want more information like this, you need to join Fighters Heaven. This is a place where you're able to ask me things, you're able to send me videos, you're able to tell me the issues that you're having in training, in fights, and if I'm able to help, I will help. It's a community, so we all kind of help each other. If that sounds good to you, click the link below. Also, most of you probably know this already, but we've got a pro fight guide, which is an encyclopedia of MMA in the making. I'm going to categorize all of the movements, all of the strategies, all of the techniques that you need in order to fight everybody and win. And this mental stuff, this is one of my favorite parts of the game. So if that sounds interesting to you, click the link below, get it while it's hot. I want you to do me a quick favor. A lot of you probably forgot to subscribe. If you did subscribe, you definitely forgot to hit the notification bell. So just do me a favor and do that right now. Don't worry, I know everybody's ADHD. I do it too. But it'll help you to get more of this content right when it comes out. Other than that, I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace.